Welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United direction. Today, as the season in the Premier League is winding to an end, but there's still so many twists and turns and so many things are still undecided. Joining me today, Houston and Denver Red Army, Louis. How are you, mate?
Doing good, Tim. How you been, my man?
Not bad. And the guy who we've not seen in a long time, Rodrigo, representing the Chelsea Blues. Welcome back, Rodrigo. How
How
are
are you
you?
guys? Good to hear. Good to be with you guys again, man.
Right. As you know, Chelsea, they've got Lampard back. We'll get back. We'll come to you, Rodrigo, in reference to Lampard coming back to manage Chelsea to
We'll,
steer the
we'll,
ship.
we'll leave that. We'll leave that for the comedy section.
So, Louis, we talked about this recently. Another day, same crap, different day, same result. What the fuck is going on, mate?
Man, it's a hard one, isn't it? It's, looking at the table, there were two games that we expected to do well in, this one and Bournemouth. And now we are 1 point ahead of Liverpool, game in hand, but
That doesn't mean anything at the rate we're going.
it's the nervousness, right, for the fan base. These are deals that should be done and dusted.
You know what leading Liverpool 13 points?
This is I think what we were talking about is getting 9 out of our last 15
4 games, right?
Yeah, getting 9 points out of our last 15. Still possible, but man, we love digging ourselves a hole, don't we? We love making it hard on ourselves. We love making it a nail biter at the end of the season. I think and these moments they're just indicative of the problems that we keep harping on that are just so obvious to the Man United fan base. But we don't see changes. We don't see significant changes. We don't see the changes that we expect, that we know would make the club better, that we know would make the football better. So this shit just continues to frustrate. It's a bad day for United fans, man. A really, really bad day.
With chances, selfishness, shooting from 50 yards out.
The result was based again on the front four players. The first hour, the back is solid. The back four is solid, more or less. Obviously, the goal is a complete fugazi. That's something that you don't expect from David De Gea, but David De Gea fucked up, man, in a really, really big way. Someone who I respect, appreciate, love. But I mean, you can be honest and be like, hey, dude, you got it wrong today. That being said, I mean, no one has played more minutes than him. No one has played more minutes. No one has sacrificed more. No one has done more for United in the last 2 seasons than De Gea has, man. He's playing 90 minutes 3 times a week, several weeks, several months, because our second option is not an option, because our third option is not an option. As bad as today was for David De Gea, and today was bad. Today was bad. As bad as it was, I still want him in the team sheet for the next match. You know what I mean? I still wouldn't put anybody else there.
Wow.
That being said, the front four, man, the finishing is abysmal. Right. The finishing is a joke. Rashford, right. Anthony, Martial, Weghorst, Bruno. Who else fucked up? I don't even remember Casemiro taking any.
No.
But it was just abysmal. It was abysmal. Playing Bruno off of the left time and time and time again. We know it doesn't work. He always drifts in towards the center because that's where he wants to be. Right. The left is, or the wing, wherever he's supposed to be on, whether he's playing on the right or the left, is left completely open, so there's no outlet. It just doesn't work, because if he stays out there, then he doesn't get the ball. So he checks in, he comes in to try to take the ball off of those feet, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I don't know what they do in training. I don't understand, but it just seems like what the F is going on. Right. Rodrigo, I mean, Chelsea won the first game this week after 6 defeats in a row. How do you feel? Do you think this is a turning point now for Chelsea?
I sneezed.
No. This Chelsea have problems, very deep problems. Watching just the season, what the season you guys had, even Ten Hag, as good as he is, he's turned things around, but it takes time. It takes a lot of work, and you got to have the right pieces together, and it's still a struggle. From what you guys are talking about, it's still a struggle. Chelsea have very deep problems. You have an owner that is just, he shouldn't have his hands anywhere near the team because he doesn't understand the game, doesn't understand the league, doesn't understand how he spent over £600 million. The team has 36 players. They can't all play. Three
Is
coaches.
It really that deep? 36 players.
3 coaches in one season. 36 players, total 36 players. And the only one player he's bought that makes any sense is Enzo Fernandez. Right. Which there's no finisher, there's no striker, there's no finisher to score goals. There's not a lot of finishers in the league. There's not a lot of finishers today. I always say that. There's a lot of strikers, but very few finishers.
That's true.
Finishers are guys that put the ball in the net and don't just kick the ball to the goalkeeper or kick it to the defender. They kick it, they just kick the ball. No. There are very few finishers now left in football, and I'm talking global scale. And Chelsea's not even close to getting anywhere near a shadow of finisher, right? But you can't blame all the coaching. Lampard came in because as his team, he's out of his depth just as well as, like I said, Graham Potter was out of his depth. Tuchel, he lost a few games, but he fired him, and I think he fired him because he didn't want Cristiano Ronaldo, but whatever. And you can't expect things to just get better. There's no system. There's not a philosophy. There's not a project in place. Right? He just bought players. Now he wants to buy players without having a coach. So how can you expect someone to come and coach a team when he's got no say so in the players that the team brought in? Yeah, he's going to live and die by those players. Right? If he loses 4 games, he's going to be out. And these are players that, hey, these guys don't fit my system. I don't play that. I don't, there's different ways of playing football. Not just because you have a top 10 striker in the league doesn't mean it's going to work in your league or in your game. It depends on the system, the coach, the philosophy of the coach. It doesn't. We've seen that, with the Galactico era in Real Madrid in the 90s.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work. We saw, Barcelona. They're in a fix because, again, they had an owner, a president, didn't know what the hell he was doing, spent money, on players that just weren't worth it. And he puts them in 5-6 year contracts. You can't get rid of them.
I know, right?
You guys run almost on the same boat, almost.
Almost. And we're Chelsea trying to we're trying to come out that circle.
Now you got 36 players that are overpaid. Right? How are you gonna get rid of them? Who's gonna want them? Who's going? They're not. These guys are not gonna take salary cuts. Now they're talking. Oh my God, they're talking about bringing Neymar into Chelsea this year. Neymar.
Yeah, welcome to being linked to Neymar. We've been linked to Neymar for 10 years.
We have an owner who's ignorant of the sport, who's looking for big names, thinking that this will be the one that will put the team up. No, and he doesn't have a sense of bringing people who know what they're doing. The Russian oligarch and criminal at least had the sense of bringing people to do their job.
Exactly my point. That was good. That was good. I mean,
the Russian criminal, at least the Russian criminal, arch criminal that he is. He had the business sense to bring in people who knew how to do their job, bringing the right coaches, right players, and you saw the results.
Right. So, as the Premiership stands now, you are now moved to 11th position, which is an upgrade from 12th position. Man United.
Wow.
Hey, you're almost to the top half of the table, baby. Come on.
In 2 years, we should reach the middle, huh?
Yeah.
It's funny how a season can change. So in a season, last season, Chelsea went to FA Cup final, went to Carabao Cup final, and lost to Liverpool on both in penalty shootouts. This season, they are just barely just trying like
They're
let's
just
just get
fine.
to mid-table.
They're just final.
Yeah. So
We're
now,
we're
what
just
you said
final.
with three managers, Tuchel,
Yeah.
Potter, Lampard, it does take a lot out
Now,
of a team.
how much did it cost to get rid of Tuchel?
I know,
How much did it cost to pay off Graham Potter?
Ouch.
How much are they paying Lampard? You know, he's a Chelsea legend. He loves Chelsea, but he ain't there for free.
No, oh no.
All right, then you have 36 players. Now, the money was spent just to buy them,
Right.
just to buy them, to release them from the contracts at their former clubs. You still got to pay them with payroll, right? So think about the money that this man, this American, you know, what's he going to do?
I think he'll figure it out. When he realizes the balance sheet, he'll figure it out.
Maybe they can take him to Los Angeles and can play for the Dodgers because they ain't doing any good playing football. You know, maybe they can play for the Dodgers.
Maybe
you know, like to get some of his money back. I don't know.
That might be an option.
This is. I'm like, how did you make your billions, buddy? How did you make your billions?
This is what I got. So as it stands, Louis, United is this a point now? Squeaky bum time.
Of course it is.
Whereby it used to be third. Newcastle losing. I think they literally couldn't handle the pressure against Arsenal today and crumbled like a bunch of cookies that were not baked properly.
You can't. No, the mistake people make is basically thinking on one game. On one game. No, sir. No, sir. It ain't over until the last game.
Right. Oh, of course.
You got 5 games left. 5 games left. 5 games left.
It is
they
not
could
over
be in
second.
they could be
circumstances it over.
Don't say they're crumbling because you don't know that. One game does not think everybody wrote off Liverpool. Everybody's like, they're done. Look at
Louis, you know what I just realized, right? Did you know last season Liverpool nearly pulled off the quadruple? Nearly did.
Yeah.
When I think about it, they went to the FA Cup final, they won. Carabao Cup final, they won. They lost the league title on the final day to a very good Man City side on Super Sunday. Then they lost the final to a Real Madrid side. Could you imagine? It's like, and this season, see where they are.
Yeah, no, it's look, it always, you know, it's not over until the last whistle on the final day, right?
No, it's not over. It's not over, guys.
But, I mean, when it comes to Manchester United fans, though, we've been let down so much over the last 10 years that when we get in towards situations like this, it's just like I was saying earlier. We enjoy making it harder on ourselves for some reason. 5 games left. You're playing West Ham, fighting relegation. You got to put a strong squad. You got to put a squad that doesn't make people question, because you are marching towards the FA Cup final, and it's something that you have to take in consideration. You do have to consider rotating players, but you got to secure the bag first. You got to secure the top 4. And with Liverpool having, a decent couple of weeks,
6 in a row,
getting into 5th place, still going to be extremely difficult for them. They don't necessarily have the easiest road ahead towards the end. I would say ours is probably easier, playing Wolves, Bournemouth, Chelsea, and Fulham. Liverpool playing, so I'm pulling it up right now. Liverpool playing Leicester, Villa, and Southampton. Southampton and Leicester probably easy for them. Villa probably not. I think Villa could give them a game. We do have a game in hand, so it's something to look forward to. But at the same time, you got to beat West Ham. You have to beat teams that are fighting relegation. You're gonna have to beat Bournemouth, and it's Bournemouth away, and our away record is crap. It's complete crap. But you have to think that you can win that game. Chelsea at home is going to be difficult.
Oh, Chelsea, with that win Chelsea got this weekend, I think Chelsea will now feel the impetus. Like, you know what? We could go to Old Trafford and spoil that party.
Chelsea have an extremely difficult last 4 games. I think Nottingham Forest, they should feel comfortable, but City away, United away, Newcastle at home.
Ooh,
That's rough. That's
they have the chance to upset the end of that season.
Right. But what I was telling Tim what I was telling Tim on Friday, Rodrigo, is that Chelsea are gonna be up for a game at Old Trafford. They're gonna be up for it. They might not play the best football that they've ever played, but they're gonna say we're going into Old Trafford, one of our biggest rivals, the end of the season. We
have nothing to lose.
And a shaky United, and they're gonna say we can give them a game.
But here's the difference between Chelsea and United, and I'm saying this as a realist. I'm a realist, right? There's times you wear the shirt, but there's times you gotta be a realist. Here's the deal: the difference between United and Chelsea is attitude. Attitude. You know, United. You know, you guys are all depressed because you lost 2 games. No. But you know what? You fought those games. Yeah, De Gea makes mistakes. All goalkeepers go through this. It's no. The problem with Chelsea is there's no spirit to win. There is not a spirit or an attitude to go out there and win. They don't have the attitude, and they've shown their last 6 games. You got these players, you know, you understand, these guys are players who've been playing for a long time. You know, they're getting paid very much money to play, you know, to play the game they know how to play. But you have to understand, the players have to take responsibility. The attitude on the pitch, I don't care what anybody says, right? It's not there. You cannot win unless you have
the right
confidence. Attitude. Confidence, which comes from what? The attitude to what? To go out there and fight and leave everything on the pitch. If you lose, you lose. But you lose what? Fighting with the attitude to win.
I've said this a lot on this channel.
And if you see Chelsea's games, one thing, the obvious thing is listen. And come on, guys. You work during the week. You know, the coach can only do so much. Once it's the game time, it's up to you. You're the players. You know how to play. You've played this game for years. You get paid very well. You know you have to win. Every game is a final because of the position you're in. Every game is a final.
No, 100%.
You play this game like it was the final of the Champions League of whatever. Because why? Because every point counts. Every point counts now because of the position you're in.
100%.
Liverpool. I am not a Liverpool fan, but I gotta give them credit. These guys were in the top, and look how they fought their way back. That's attitude. That's saying, you know what? We're gonna play every game hard, win or lose. You know what? And it shows, right? That's the Manchester. Those players, thanks to Ten Hag, you know what? They have the spirit to win. They have the desire to win. Mistakes apart. Everybody makes mistakes. It can happen. But the attitude, the attitude that Manchester United has is a healthy attitude.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you 50% because I think only 50% of our squad has the attitude right now. I think that something that I've noticed, the chemistry in the team is gone over the last 3-4 weeks, where we were fighting extremely hard, and we were you saw the way the players the way they celebrate goals together, the way they hold each other up during good moments, during bad moments. You kind of saw that through the beginning of the season, through the middle of the season, as we start to reach towards the end, as we get knocked out of Europa League, as we start to kind of fall off of that potential title race that we had for like 1.5 weeks. But I don't see the fight from certain key players, players that really, really have to perform for us week in, week out. I'm starting to see it kind of go away. Casemiro, I think today was kind of shocking because that's not who we know him to be. That is a world-class, center back who's won, or sorry, CDM who's won, all the accolades, that he could win possibly in club football. And he wasn't up for it. Without Varane and Martinez, there's a flatness to our attack. There's not a confidence there. You know what I mean? I wish that I could say that we were up for every game, Like I think you're right. I think Liverpool have clawed their way back to where they are.
Oh yeah.
Now.
It's obvious. It's obvious. I mean, but I judge a team how they move off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
See, from the teams I haven't watched any football this weekend, obviously, but the games I saw, the replays, your movement off the ball says a lot.
I think
when you don't have the ball, and the players that the players don't have the ball are running, they're moving, they're closing positions. That's how I judge a team's attitude. Chelsea, when they don't have the ball, it's like, oh well, maybe in the next, maybe when they kick the ball back to us, we'll do better.
How many points can you guys get out of the last 12? Do you think 3, 6?
Man, I'd hate to even say. I hate to even say. I really. It's like the end. It's like the first. It's like out to you guys at the beginning of the season. Let's see.
Yeah.
So
I have no confidence. I really don't.
So Louis, out of United 12 points available now, what are you reckoning now? Bournemouth, Wolves, Chelsea, Fulham.
We desperately need 9 points. I think, to secure our top 4 spot. I desperately think we need 9 points. Wolves at home, I think we can do it.
Excuse me.
Bournemouth away, I think we can do it. I don't think it's going to be a great game. If anything, I think it's going to be like a 1-0 because just our away form is just so poor.
It's like Chelsea getting worse.
Chelsea at home, I would like to see us win. I would like to see us grab a point. Man, I don't know, man.
I don't see it.
We have a habit of giving points away to teams that
I know, right? I know.
But if Chelsea can get away with the 0-1 at home, this is. I may be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But again, I'm a realist. I'm not negative. I'm a realist. I just see the way. Come on, these guys. How much are you getting paid? Man? Come on, really? Yeah. Fofana. Come on.
If we can beat Wolves,
I don't see.
We'll be in good shape.
A player say, you know what, guy, 2 coaches have already left us because of us in the season. We got Frank Lampard, a legend of the club. Let's fight for the guy. Come on.
4 more years.
Let's fight for the guy. Let's at least fight for the guy until the end of the season. Let's not ruin his legend's time.
Like you said, Rodrigo. Sometimes you ask yourself, where's the pride and the passion when you cross that line? It's like this guy just lie down and just get spanked. Like, I can't be asked. Not today. Oh, we go again next week. Get spanked again. Oh, we go again next week. It's like, where's the self-reflection? Where's the looking at yourself? Am I the man in the mirror? Can I be better? Like Michael Jackson said, are you the man in the mirror?
That's what we keep saying about Harry Maguire, right?
Yeah, like that fool said, I have nothing to
Maguire needs to go to another club. He needs to go to another club. He needs to go to another club, start over, get that pressure off of him. Get that pressure. Yeah,
I think it'd be good for him. I think he's
and you
know what? Saying he might go to Chelsea.
And I'm sorry.
They said he might go to Chelsea.
Rashford, all these guys you guys have, you know what? They're not consistent.
No, they're not. They're not. Today was another example of that. Today, Rashford was poor.
But at least.
But he has been poor for the last couple of games. But
he has. He's been poor for
but at least, you see them moving in spaces. You see them trying.
You can't be shooting for 50 yards every time.
Yeah, I think that's the problem.
But there's a lot of wasted shots. The problem is a lot of these guys, like I said, they're not finishers. They waste a lot of shots. They waste a lot of shots, then they turn off for a while.
Yeah.
Well, because they failed, they basically threw away three shots, shooting it straight to the goalkeeper's hands, or they shoot into 3 or 4 defenders in front of them. Then they like, oh my God, I better stop a little bit. Maybe they turn off a little bit. Then the light dims. That's the problem with a lot of strikers, not just Man United, everywhere. Aside from the Messis, the Ronaldos,
these clowns are just weak,
again. They're not finishers. It's the thinking. Sometimes you get desperate to make a goal. They'll give the ball away. You know,
what I think?
hey, stop. Cut to the left, cut to the right, pass the ball, move in. Don't keep it away in the box the way a lot of these guys do. This is what affects Anthony Marshall. This is what affects your strikers. Chelsea don't even get to shoot the ball. Get that. But other strikers are like Salah, a guy like Salah that knows how to finish. This guy knows. A lot of these guys, they give away the ball 3 or 4 times and they shut down.
Right.
Yeah. They shut down because they lose confidence or like, oh my God, I just can't do it. You know, it's up here. But again, you know, stop. Cut to the left, cut to the right, move the ball around, pass it back, get in position, keep the ball on your side. Don't just shoot the ball because you want to score. No, there's an intelligence to being a striker.
Right. Louis. So
yeah, real quick, I just wanted to add, I think that there is something indicative that's happening in football right now where a lot of these strikers think that they have to in order to be a big name striker, they think that they have to have individual moments. That they think that they have to
selfish individual.
They have to create the chances, and they have to be the one that scores, and they have to be the marquee name of the club. They look at Mbappe and Haaland, and they think, oh, those guys finish all the time solo, that I have to be that. When the greatest finishers in the world in all time, you mentioned Mo Salah. Mo Salah is a very unselfish player. When he's on and he knows he's on, he's gonna bury it. But when he sees the flat pass into the box in front of the goal, he's not gonna ignore his teammate. He's gonna give that ball. Cristiano Ronaldo, when he was 3rd top goal scorer for us, was the leading assister for the team, and he was one of the leading assisters at Real Madrid. So was Messi. You know, these players who are legends. They had all kinds of goals, all kinds of accolades, but they were team players and they worked for the team. Rashford ain't that right now, and he hasn't been for a while. He's extremely selfish. Anthony,
because he's trying to be that man to get the most goals, to increase his contract negotiation.
It's right, and I think Rodrigo's right though. It's not just United, right? It's happening.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. There are very few finishers. You know, there are very few finishers actually. Yeah. Haaland is a finisher. Haaland is a finisher.
Yeah, Haaland
is a finisher. The other striker, the Argentinian guy, Julian Alvarez is a finisher. You have Lautaro Martinez. Haaland. I'm saying Haaland. He's a finisher. Julian Alvarez is a finisher. Lautaro Martinez at Inter is a finisher. Lukaku, clown, but he's a finisher. Right? They know how to finish. They know how to get the ball back. He's a clown, but he's a finisher. Mbappe, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, these are finishers. They put the ball back. Now you go into United history, and you analyze the way these guys make goals. Dwight York, Andy Cole, Van Nistelrooy, Eric Cantona, you know, Brian Robson, the best finishers in the history of United. Chelsea, you had people like Torian and Flo, you had Drogba. You had Hernan Crespo. You guys had Carlos Tevez for a while. You look at, again, Romario from Brazil, really? Batistuta, Tevez, those guys, the way they finished, they were critical because, you know, they weren't worried about, you know, I gotta get the ball in net. They're like, searching for the creativity to get the ball in it. They didn't just strike at the ball. They moved. They were at the right place at the right time.
Like the fools I'm seeing for United against Brighton. I would have thought as a striker, you're told to aim at the far post. If the keeper's closing this post, the near post, why would you shoot at him thinking the ball's going to go right through him like it's going to be invisible? No. Aim at the far. Marcel had the chance today. The goalkeeper covered the near post. Obviously, you go aim at the far post. Brother, come on.
When you keep doing the same
learn in training.
When you keep doing the same thing over and over, defenders and goalkeepers, they figure you out, and they know how you're going to come at them, and they get prepared. See, that's the problem. Is a good striker doesn't always hit from the left or the right or the center. He can fire from any distance, from any. That's the problem. People become predictable.
So my question is now to Louis. How worried are you? Are you confident, or are you like, where are you now? Are you confident United can still make top four?
I am always skeptically optimistic. I'm always optimistic, man, because our road to the end of the season is not the hardest one. But you know, I'm very skeptical just because of, you know, our depth is atrocious. Our form right now is terrible.
Right.
I don't know. I love Ten Hag. I trust Ten Hag. I think he is an extremely talented, brilliant manager. I don't understand why you would start Weghorst at a 10 and put Bruno out wide. I don't understand that
I don't get.
I don't understand. I don't understand a lot of the substitutions he's made over the last 3 or 4 games. I don't think that they've improved the quality of what's happening on the field at any point in time. Part of that is fatigue, part of that is depth, but at the same time, you know, it's just like we talked about on Friday. I don't know if these players are up for it. I just don't, man. And you know, as much as he tries, Wout Weghorst doesn't have the quality. So where you have the passion, the fire, the drive, you don't have the skill or the ability to transform that into a good performance. So the players that have the most skill don't have the drive, and the players that have the drive don't have the skill. It's a really horrible place to be in. It is. And we've known for 3-4 years, certain players have to get out. Certain players have to leave, and they have to be replaced with quality if we want to continue to compete at this level. Like, if we get into Champions League next year, fantastic. It's a little boost in the pocketbook for the club. It's, you know, it's the brand exposure. We're in the highest competition, and then we're back in Europa League because we finished 3rd place in our group. Like, you know what I mean? It's those kind of moments. It's, yes, Champions League is the goal. It's fantastic, but you know, if there's no quality, what are we even fighting to get in towards that league for? Go into Europa, do well, you know, and try to win a trophy there, because you ain't gonna win it in the Champions League, not where we're at. Right. It's very scary times, man. It's very scary times, and the only thing that we can say is that we want this sale to go through, to be finalized, so we can get on with rebuilding, you know, the club and rebuilding football at Old Trafford. It's man, it makes me nervous. It makes me incredibly nervous.
Right. I think you relate how you feel across board to most Man United fans who currently are a bit discombobulated. I spoke to a lot of fans after the game today, and it's like United just pissing away top 4. I mean, Liverpool were 13 points behind, now 1 point. Yeah, they got a game more, but points in the bag are in the bag than points you don't have. You don't know if you're going to lose that game.
Right.
Then what?
Yeah.
So I always thought, oh, game in hand. But you have to win the game in hand.
Yeah.
So as it stands so far, do you still think Man City are winning this league title?
Is Man City winning the title? Yeah, probably. It's probably the most likely scenario. Yeah, I don't.
You don't think Arsenal could still win it?
I'm sorry?
You don't think Arsenal could still win it?
It's possible, but Arsenal, man, they just have a habit of bottling shit, man. They just have a habit of letting...
This is the time of the year where Arsenal run out of gas.
Arsenal, they won today, you know what? The game people thought they were going to lose. They went to Newcastle, got 3 points.
But you know what? Arteta's done a great job. Arteta's done a great job with the players he has. But again, you know, the thing about it is look, you see how Pep has his players? You know, these guys are plugged in. You know, you guys have a good advantage because you got Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag's done a great job. I think he's brought your team around compared to where it was last year. You know,
God.
I mean, you know, it's, but you have that advantage that if he's allowed to work, if he's allowed to bring the players he wants to, and he can sit down the players he needs to play without anybody interfering. Hopefully, you know, and I do this for football, right? That you get the right owner that will bring in the right people and support the coach, and support his system, right? Stay out of his way. Just let the guy get on with what he's being paid to do.
Mm.
And the players that need to go. Sorry, if I don't care how much money you paid for them or how much marketing value you have, you know what? If they're not helping the team, they gotta go. Alex Ferguson was ruthless in that. That's what
would
it is.
you still say City are going to win the title, Rodrigo?
I would say yes. I would give them the advantage of winning the title. Anything can happen. This is football. But I see City winning the league, and I even see him winning Champions League.
Arsenal can win their last 3 games. Brighton, Forest, and Wolves. They can win those games. The problem is City still have a game in hand. They're
still 1 point ahead, even after the day.
They're 1 point ahead. They're 1 point ahead. They have a game in hand. And their last 4 games,
those guys are hungry. They play.
Their last 4 games.
They play like tigers, man.
Let's head the games. What are the games?
So the last games are Everton away.
Oh Jesus!
That's gonna be a win. Chelsea at home, probably going to win. Brighton away could be difficult, but I'd still kind of rate City to win.
Brighton will be
Brighton to a point, but I don't see Brighton beating City.
You never know, man.
I could see them. I could see Brighton holding. I could see Brighton holding City
Arsenal
to a 0-0 like they did to us. That's possible.
City just seem to have a bit more firepower and more options. You have Mahrez, you have Haaland.
Look at the way they're built, from the back to the front.
Yeah.
They're effective.
They're stacked.
It's not just strikers. It's not just strikers. You watch them play. Guardiola builds a team from the back to the front, and he's got all the zones covered.
And
I watched the game yesterday, and City won 2-1 against Leeds at home. There was a guy who scored the 2 goals. I've forgotten his name now. He had a penalty, and just because he was on a hat trick, Haaland allowed him to take the penalty, and he missed.
Pep was
Pep
pissed.
went off. You saw him. Pissed. He was pissed. Like, you're supposed to take the penalty. Why are you giving it to him? And, Haaland was like, we wanted him to get a hat trick. And Pep was like, no, that's your job. You are the designated penalty taker. All that. See, those are players making decisions. If Leeds had now got a second goal and Man City dropped 2 points, that's players making those decisions that are not supposed to be made. That's them.
But that can happen. But you know what? Still, you know what? They held it. But that's okay. That's it's worse when you have Neymar and Mbappe fighting, not because they want the team to win, because they want to be
the main man.
That's when you have the problem. That's where you have a problem. Right? So this is okay. Haaland did a good thing, fine. Didn't work out, okay. But then you have Mbappe and Neymar fighting. Neymar takes it and misses. Then Mbappe gets all nobody wins. That's the difference between a Guardiola team and the disaster that is PSG with all those stars. But again, you guys, you got a coach that's making these players work, getting the best out of some players. Now, next season, it'll be based on what goes on in the summer.
And who owns the club.
Exactly. Now, again, pray to God, you guys bend your knee and pray you don't get a Tombo or a Al-Khalifi that sticks his nose where it doesn't belong and messes everything up. Right? Pray that whoever your next owners will have the sense enough to see what's going on and say, you know what? I need to bring good people. I need to keep my nose out of this stuff and just and let these guys do what I'm paying them millions of dollars to do, right? That's the thing. Will Tom Bowley learn from this debacle? Because he's already saying, I'm not bringing Neymar. I'm not bringing Neymar. We need Neymar. Yeah, right.
Okay. So he's just going to throw money at the situation. So, Louis, you've shared your worries, your concerns about this team who are not reliable. they make the 9 points that United require. They may make that 9 points harder than they actually are.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem and the fan base gets stressed out. I mean, Chelsea are, they've got the first win under the belt. Maybe the momentum will build up. The momentum will build from there. We just never know. But overall with that, the Premiership is coming to the end of the season. This week we have Real Madrid and Man City. That is going to be another big game for Manchester City. Would that drain them? This is I don't know. You guys want to make a quick prediction? Man City, Real Madrid. Rodrigo, quickly.
I believe Man City will outlast them and go to the final.
Wow.
Yeah. Real Madrid have shown. I mean, they've lost to Iran, Getafe, and they're not the almighty team they were last year.
They beat City last time around.
That was last year. This year. Whole new ball game. Eventually, one little thing about it's like Liverpool beat Milan in one final, and Milan coming back and get revenge. This is the beautiful thing about our game. This is a wonderful thing about our game. So it remains to be seen. And don't be down on your team so much, man. Two games lost does not define your season.
No, it's not so much.
It's 10 years, man.
It's the manner of the defeat.
It's football. It's football.
Yes,
it's football. That's the way it is. You know what? Every team goes through it. If you're going to watch this game, support a team, get ready for it. You're going to go through dry spells.
Man, nobody can talk to us about. Yeah, man. Nobody can talk to us about.
You've been more successful. You've been more successful for many more years than you were now. Starting. Right. Come on.
I don't mind losing. It's the manner in the losing. When you are spineless and gutless and cowardly and absolutely shambles, then I have a problem with that.
I didn't see the game. I didn't see you guys. I didn't watch it. So I can't. I know De Gea made another howler. There was some problems in the midfield.
That guy has olive oil on his hands. The guy's an absolute clown.
Well, what has he done? You know what? Every goalkeeper goes
Rodrigo, no. Don't give me the every goalkeeper. Did you see what he did in Spain against Sevilla? Did you see that? That was an absolute nightmare. He single-handedly dumped on him and Maguire, and Harry.
That tournament.
I disagree.
That tournament belongs. First of all, that tournament belongs to Sevilla. That tournament belongs to Sevilla.
It wasn't to Sevilla. So we gifted them 2 free goals at Old Trafford, 2 home goals, and get them 2 free gifts. We get the 4 gifts.
And Maguire
club. Oprah. You can have a car. You can have a car.
Maguire helped out a lot too. I understand.
Of course he did.
But you know what?
De Gea wants to kick a ball out. It kicks. You know what?
No, De Gea cannot play with his feet.
Yeah,
De Gea cannot.
No, I disagree.
No, he can't.
Look,
no, he can't. He can't.
Edwin van der Sar, Casper Schmeichel, and David De Gea are 3 of the greatest goalkeepers we've ever had at Manchester United.
But De Gea cannot play with his feet.
Let me say that right now. De Gea, for all that he does for this club, for as many games as he plays, as many minutes as he plays, the ratio of minutes to mistakes is not.
But look, his mistakes. The majority of mistakes are done with his feet.
Not today. Today was with his hands.
But the majority of his mistakes were with his feet. The majority of mistakes De Gea made were.
I don't think that
in Sevilla.
You can look at the mistakes that he has and tell me that he is.
Where he slides. Like against Sevilla, when he slides, trying to get that second goal that he screwed up on. He slides out to stop it. No, you fall backwards. You don't slide to a guy that's running 10 miles an hour at you like that. He make most of his mistakes over his feet.
Today he had baby oil on his hands. Now that is effed up. I'm sorry. That's effed up.
Today he was horrible. It was a horrible game for.
But also, hey, West Ham is fighting. You're a wounded tiger fighting to survive.
Facts.
They're fighting to survive.
Facts.
They are fighting to survive because
they even gave United 11 extra minutes. Still couldn't find another.
Oh yeah, you had Fergie time. You had Fergie time.
No, there was an injury to a West Ham player, so that the time when
you still had Fergie time, bro.
Fergie time means we scored a goal in stoppage time.
Fergie time means Fergie time means you got fucking 30 minutes afterwards.
Oh, get out of here, you Chelsea fan! Chelsea fan, go on.
Fergie time is
get on out of here.
Fergie time is 15 minutes, and you get 15 minutes on the clock.
No. These guys, if you had given them an extra 30 minutes, they were not going to score today.
Here's what I will. Here's my last thought on David De Gea. All right, a coach that used to mentor me back in Texas. He said something that always stuck with me, and I always kept it. He said, "If you do not score goals, you will watch your opponent score goals on you." So when I look at a game like today, if I look at the last several weeks, the chances that we miss or the chances that we waste in front of the opposition goal turn into moments in front of our own goal. So again, David De Gea, horrible today. Horrible.
Absolutely.
There are 10 other players that are supposed to turn around that mistake.
Horrible.
There are 10 other players that have to step up and say, we gave away a goal against one of the worst teams 27 minutes in, and we got to do some work. And they didn't do the work.
Is David Moyes coaching West Ham?
Yeah.
Ooh, to lose against him? Ooh.
Yeah,
exactly.
There you go. There you see.
Never mind.
There you see, Rodrigo. So you see the magnitude of this calamity or this circus we had today. United.
Now I understand. Okay, I didn't know.
Dominated, created each other for 20 minutes. The game is 90 minutes. You can't play good for 20. Now you can see the baby oil goal, and you can't score in 72 minutes. What the fuck is that about? That is why we're upset. The fact that if United had played the way back, we were unlucky. Like, oh man, that goalkeeper was fantastic. No, we were woeful. That's the problem. There's the difference in losing gallantly and losing dreadfully. It's two different kind of defeats. These last two were
that bad. Was it that bad?
It was that bad. It was that bad. It was that bad. Again,
they have 5 days to look at themselves in the mirror and figure out, can they go beat Bournemouth away?
How was the game against Bournemouth?
That's coming up. Is it Wolves or Bournemouth we got next?
No, the one you lost. Is that Brighton?
Brighton.
Last minute penalty. Brighton's a good team. Come on,
Brighton is a fantastic team.
Brighton is a good team. They can beat anybody. They can beat Real Madrid on a good day.
Right. So Rodrigo, we had chances to win. We had Martial aiming at the keeper. Rashford blasting at the near post. Anthony trying to score fantastic goal from outside the box.
They're not finishers.
That was the game.
They're decent strikers, but they're not finishers.
Brighton got a last-minute penalty, and the game was done. It was good night.
Against Brighton, our back four was locked down tight. It was solid organization,
like a rock.
Together, proper movement. It was amazing. But again, if you don't score goals, you're going to watch the other team score goals. And our finishing was terrible. Our finishing was horrible because it was too much selfishness. It wasn't enough movement of the ball in and around the box. It wasn't enough movement off of the ball. It was horrible. And the link up between the midfield and the attack was also horrible. So, I mean, in a game against a team like Brighton that plays open, that plays direct, that likes to, play with speed, that like to take shots, you can't play that way. You can't play. You can't just say, "Hey, you four lot back there, you do your job, and we're just going to do whatever." It's completely unfair on towards your defenders, and I hope that Luke Shaw and company, I hope they were pissed after that game, and they said, "Guys, what the hell?" But obviously, the message didn't resonate because it's the same thing going against West Ham. The back four overall were solid. We had a few mistakes later on, like in 75th plus minute. That turned into chances for West Ham. They scored twice. One was taken away for the foul on De Gea. They smacked him in the face, and the other one was offsides. So take that away. Look at your front four, your front five players. It's abysmal. There's no cohesion. and there's no creation. If you don't have that, then there's no way you're going to score. There's no way you're going to score. And it turns into moments on the other end. Luke Shaw handball against Brighton. A mess up with De Gea, the ball goes through his hands. Those moments
the point. That's what I'm saying.
Because
you can't keep gifting goals. You can't. I know we're in April, we're in May. It's not even Christmas yet. You're gifting goals out in May. You know what I mean? You might as well just put a Santa suit and start giving out, ho, 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 you get 3 points, you get 2 points. No, this is not the United side of the 90s, 1999, whereby they will give away 2 goals, but they're coming back with 3 goals. Yeah. These clowns will give out 2 goals, heads drop, goodbye, good night.
They're done. There's no fight.
The job is done for the day.
Now, I hear I've been hearing friends of mine who also support United and some stuff on YouTube. Everybody wants to cut off De Gea's head.
Not me.
Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree? Everybody wants to cut because he's done. He's old. He's making too many mistakes.
So
this is what people.
He's in the middle of a contract negotiation. Obviously, he's gonna get a what do you call? He's gonna have a decrease in his salary. So it's a matter of how much decrease is he gonna take. He's on $375 a week. To increase to renew his contract, he's going to go either to $250, whatever.
Would it make more sense to bring in a goalkeeper to put the pressure on him to fight for his place?
I think
wouldn't it be better to bring in?
I think it would make more sense to bring in a young, talented keeper.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A keeper, whether he's young and talented or he's experienced, that can come in and compete.
I don't think there needs to be a competition there. I think there needs to be a young, talented keeper that comes in and says everything. That's
the whole idea. I mean, Man United.
Not in this case. They need to put him next to De Gea.
That's what Ferguson did.
Listen to me, man. They need to put him next to De Gea, and they need to say every word out of this man's mouth. You listen to. You hear with him, and look, he's going to be a different type of goalkeeper. Maybe it's going to be a goalkeeper that's good with his feet, right? And they say, look, you need to listen to De Gea about how this club operates, how this team works, and how to be a top world-class keeper, because that's what you got here. You got a mentor. That's what you got. That's what you need. You need a young goalkeeper, talented goalkeeper that is the future of Manchester United. But it's not so much a competition as much as it is a developing, learning experience. That's how I think you develop a top-class keeper.
Well, that's fine. But I'm saying for you guys to be able to get into compete against what you need to compete, you need another goalkeeper like Alex to create the competition to keep the pressure on the player. You know, maybe he needs to focus. Sometimes
the idea between competing players is because one player is underperforming and you need someone to shoot him in the head because he feels like his job is safe no matter what he does.
Exactly.
I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Complacency comes in as well.
De Gea right now knows that he's safe. He's got nobody in the bench to take his place. He just said.
But his work ethic and his mentality is not dropped.
That's not question. That's not question. No, it's called focus. When you have someone stepping on your toes in the back.
I don't think he's lost focus, though. That's what I'm saying.
How do you get the focus back?
I don't think he's lost it. I don't think he's lost it. Again, it's like you said.
No,
one bad game. All the mistakes.
But again, from what I'm understanding, I haven't seen anything. From my understanding, that the mistakes he's made, the lack of the bad judgment he's made, right? Is it because he's getting up there in age? Is he because he's just not focusing? Or is he just like, you know what? What is it? I mean, what is?
I can't put finger on it.
Those are questions that Ten Hag will have to ask himself going into next season.
100%. I think
those are questions that you have to ask going into next season because you know why? Because you just said it. If you get into Champions League top 4, right? You're going to face Real Madrid. You're going to face Manchester City. You're going to face Bayern. You're going to face Juventus. You're going to face those teams. You got to have a goalkeeper that's solid. These are questions that Ten Hag, as the Dutchman that he is, the Dutch system, questions he's going to ask. What do I got to do to David Defender to either get him focused, or do I got to move him on? I got to start rotating him? You know, I get a younger guy playing for the European leagues. I just keep him for the cup, or I keep him for the. Those are things that Ten Hag will ask himself.
So Louis, respond to Rodrigo.
No matter what happens as far as who we bring in, I think Ten Hag looks at Champions League, looks at those types of teams, and still says De Gea is my first choice. I really believe that.
Even
I really
though he can't play with his feet.
David De Gea is the first choice. I don't think that, look, there is, I hear what you're saying. There is a lot of chatter online, in YouTube, in social spaces. There is a De Gea out movement between a lot of people.
No, there'll always be that. There'll always be when the player starts having problems, everybody wants to cut his throat. No, that's why I'm asking you guys. I'm asking you guys because you guys understand. I'm just saying from what I've seen here, there's always going to be that. A team needs two games out. Ten Hag out. Ten Hag out. They want to fire everybody. I understand that.
Definitely, yeah. There's definitely those types of people, right? No, I think De Gea had a horrible game. He's still my first choice goalkeeper.
Going forward, because
still my first choice. Going forward, he's still my first choice.
He will still be my first choice.
Yeah, going forward, he's still my first choice.
He has to be able to stop making these stupid mistakes that are becoming. There's mistakes and making the costly ones, because the mistakes he's making are the costly ones. The Sevilla exit today, 3 points. It's what I mean.
Can I touch on that one real quick, Tim? Passing a ball between two opposing attackers on towards your center back's open foot is not a mistake. That is a good fucking pass. And Maguire fucked it up. Now, the Ben Fosters of the world, and a lot of people say, okay, you have to recognize that that's Maguire and you can't give him the ball. I think that's bullshit. That is a $80 million, 200 plus grand a week England national team player. If I give you a good pass, don't fuck it up and then put it on me. That's how I. If I'm
hold on, Louis, the second goal, the second goal, the one he fumbled at the goal number 3 for Sevilla, whereby he ran out of his goal.
He ran out of his goal. He tried to slide the ball out, and the guy went around him.
Look, at that point, probably wrong decision. Definitely has to make a better decision. It's also you're 2-0 down.
That's what I'm saying.
Down, and your center back isn't giving you shit.
But
both is a damn thing. So you got to go and be the center back.
But both those goals.
I think that's what was going through his head. Wrong decision. But I also understand
both was wrong decision. Why did he give the ball to Maguire? Seeing he's got two strikers right here in front of him, next to him, coming at him. Knowing that Maguire can't play with his feet. Knowing Maguire can't do anything. Why do you give him the ball when you could have passed it out?
Because he literally made the same pass like 3 days or 4.
That was not a good pass. That was a bad decision.
He made a wrong choice in giving the ball. The pass wasn't a bad pass. He passed it to a guy who was a clown. So as soon as the ball came to him,
but when you have two players, when he's got two offensive players right there next to him, right behind him, why do you give the guy the ball?
Because he broke the line with the pass. When he passed
the ball,
both players are behind the center back,
and he's only 5 yards ahead of you, close to the goal. No, you send that ball to your players attacking forward, not to Maguire.
That's the right decision. Of course, that's the right decision.
And it was a bad decision.
But it doesn't make him a bad goalkeeper because
don't make him a bad goalkeeper. A good goalkeeper making bad mistakes and bad decisions.
As I'm saying, he's been consistently making bad decisions.
I don't think that's consistent, though. Again, ratio of minutes to mistakes.
No. Ten Hag, go into next season. Ten Hag, go next season. He's going to ask those questions.
Yeah,
he will make those questions.
Do I continue this guy? The bad decisions he's making. He's the captain. Whatever. He's been around forever.
We have 5 games. 4 in the league, and we've got the FA Cup final against Man City. After those 5 games, which will either make us great or make us look like a bunch of chumps, we qualify for Champions League. And beat City in the FA Cup, which would mean a successful season for a guy who's been in the job for 8 months. Winning 2 trophies and getting Champions League. A great season. But it could be a complete calamity if we don't get it together. So I also think David De Gea needs to ask himself, because some of these mistakes are not defenders. Today that was on him.
Yeah, that was
and
on
that
him.
cost us 3 points. He's not a bad goalkeeper, but the errors he's making are very vital at vital times of the game and of a season. They're impactful games. Okay, if he made the mistake against, I mean, we saw the 7 he conceded against Liverpool. I mean,
come on, you're gonna put that on De Gea?
No, I'm just saying that was the whole team. That was the whole team.
But he's a seasoned goalkeeper with lots of experience. He's making mistakes that you can say, well, he's young, he's not.
No, he ain't young. He's in his 30s.
But he is. He's not still the leader for the Golden Glove.
No, but he's been around long enough to make decisions like that. This is the things that a guy like Ten Hag, the Dutchmen who are like analytical and everything. These are the things he's going to ask.
He will ask. He will.
Do I continue this guy?
Like I said, 5 games. Five games will determine United's season.
Because again, if next season it happens again, it's on him.
I would say this.
I think this season.
If you're Ten Hag and you're thinking about your goalkeeper from next season, and your goalkeeper is literally the best one in the Premier League when it comes to clean sheets, you don't send him up the fucking river because of a
no. But I'm getting ready because you know what? He's more out than he is in because of his age. He can't keep going. I have to think of what am I going to do?
Not for a goalkeeper. What is it? 33?
Hey,
I think 30. 34.
You got to think about. Hey, I got to think about the team. I got to think about not falling, like you said, not falling back into Europa League next year.
Mm.
The pressure's on. The pressure's on Ten Hag. Right. The pressure's, he's
32.
He's 32. Yeah, come on. He's not old for a keeper.
He's not. It's just that he started at United very young. That's all. Anyway,
he's been here for a minute.
Anyway, we have come to that point of the show. United fumbled. De Gea fumbled. And the team completely capitulated. Weak, spineless, gutless bunch of buffoons who don't seem to know what they're doing.
You're too hard on them, man.
I'm not being hard. No,
not on this game.
They're not.
They are so weak-minded that it's unbelievable. Whereby the heads drop, whereby they go down. They had 75 minutes. They couldn't get an equalizer.
I think they just didn't take this game as serious as they should have against West Ham.
And whose fault is that? It ain't mine.
Everybody, the players.
That's why I said they are spineless and gutless and weak-minded.
No, that's not being spineless and gutless. It's just being, how do you say? Arrogant, maybe just what
that's
you
fair.
call.
I think arrogant is fair.
Arrogant and saying, well, we got this game. This thing, you gotta understand when you play against a relegation team. Not all of them, but you gotta understand these guys are gonna fight for their lives.
It's a question. They ask the players. Do you want top 4 or not? It's that simple. If you want top 4, go out there and play for a team that won it better. But today, they play like a team that don't want top 4. That's why I think they have no guts.
They underestimated West Ham.
How can you underestimate a relegated team who's fighting to survive? How stupid is that?
That's what I'm saying. They underestimated a relegation team like West Ham. They're not good, with a guy like what's his name? Moyes. Moyes, wherever his faults are, he's going to want that team to fight.
I get it, and they fought, and they took a shot, and the ball went through him.
And again, just from what I've read, I think what it seems is that these guys just underestimated the fight of West Ham. Now, we'll see.
Underestimate any Premier League side. That's why it's called the Premier League. These guys have been playing this sport for enough not to underestimate anybody. I mean, if it was at Old Trafford, I could say yes. It is in West Ham. It's a hostile situation. The crowd are behind them, and you go there expecting a miracle. You can only expect a miracle if you perform. If you don't perform, there's no miracles. It's simple.
It's not just a Premiership, Tim. Napoli just won the league after 33 years. You think Juventus and Milan and Inter and all these and Roma, with Mourinho, you didn't think they misjudged Spalletti and Napoli? They did. They just don't expect a team like Napoli 33 to come back. They misjudged this team all season long, and now they're champions. You don't do that in any league. In any league.
But I'm concentrated on the Premier League today, and I'm
saying this is
about
football.
Manchester United.
I'm saying this is football. This is football in general. Teams have this. They have to, you see it all over. You saw it in the World Cup.
I get that point. But I'm saying you cannot be underestimating your opponent, especially when you're going to third den. Never. Cave.
Never.
It's like a lion saying, you know what? I'm going into the river. I fully know crocodile is there, but I will survive. Really? And you have no plan B. Just in case the crocodile gets one leg, how am I escaping? They don't have a plan B. That's why I said they are spineless, gutless, and a bunch of astronomical buffoons who don't have a clue of what to do or trying to have a plan B. That's why they are where they are. Now they're looking at Liverpool like, oh shit. And these guys are like a cake that didn't rise in an oven. They just crumble. That's who they are. They're weak. They are weak-minded. That's where they are today. You lose to Brighton, you lose to West Ham. Who the fuck are you gonna beat then?
Well,
the Bournemouth game, I'm looking at them like, really? Watch Bournemouth give United a hard game. Watch that again. You will see this next week. We're gonna be doing the same thing. Like, really?
I think before you call them buffoons, all that. Wait to see how the season ends, then judge.
We watched how the last 9 seasons have ended, my man. The last 9 seasons.
You know what? But, no, I understand, but you know what? You're now in the rebuilding process. It doesn't happen overnight.
It's been a 9-year rebuild. That's what we're saying.
But the problem is you haven't rebuilt correctly. Now you've got a guy driving the ship that can make it happen.
But the same ownership.
But where is the common sense of
the ownership? I won't argue there. Americans shouldn't own any fucking soccer team anywhere in the world.
This is what I'm saying.
Anywhere.
Ryan Reynolds is doing a striker. Or no, he's Canadian.
You are a striker. You're paid to put the ball in the net. A goalkeeper's in your front. They even taught us as kids, aim at the far post. You're telling a guy who plays football all his life, he don't know how to aim at the far post? Come on, bro. Come on. We can't keep making excuses for this guy. These are prima donnas.
You aim at the far post when you know that the opposition are weak there, right? It's like
if goalkeepers coming and closing you. Mentally, you're like, all right, I'll aim at the space whereby he's not covered.
Well, if the goalkeeper's coming at you and you draw him closer to where you can juke him, make him go the wrong way.
These guys didn't do that. They shot straight at him.
And again, it goes back to what I'm saying. It goes back to what I'm saying. They're not finishers. They shoot the ball just to shoot the ball, and it goes in the goalkeeper's hands, or they shoot with his 4 defenders.
So that's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
If you cannot finish, that's what I'm saying.
Now,
Ten
Hag should take him in the locker room, grab him by the ear and said, why did you give those balls away? Why do you, when you know, as a player, someone who's played the sport, even me, I played amateur, if the goalkeeper's coming at me, hey, you know what? Come on. I got the advantage now because I'm going to draw you out. And if I'm not going to shoot, I'm going to pass the ball to someone who can put the ball in there because you're out chasing me. That's just common sense.
That is why there is a difference between level 1 finishers, Man City, and us who haven't got a clue how to put the ball in the net.
And that's the difference. Those are the questions
where we are, and that's where they are.
Those are the questions that Ten Hag will ask himself as once the season ends.
In 5 games time.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure on a day that we have lost one of our best friends and greatest mates among us, Tom Clare, president, founder of Houston Red Army, who passed away in the early hours of this morning. He was the founder of Houston Red Army United Supporters Club. He started this whole community of supporters club of Manchester United in Houston, Texas, United States. May his soul rest in perfect peace. My bottle up to Tom. Rest in peace. On that note, gentlemen, it's been a day.
God bless his soul.
God bless his soul. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Amen.
Have a great week. Take care, bro.
Take care, guys. God bless you guys.
Thanks for joining us. Take care.
God bless you. Be safe.
All right, mate.